who teaches the Peach Blossom Kindergarten at the River School, and we'll be hearing from her as well tonight. And Mrs. Martinez is also joining us from the Apple Blossom from the Golden Valley Orchard School. We are all one big happy fruit salad here at the Golden Valley Schools. So you'll get to know the different fruit blossoms as you get to learn more about our school and our community. But thank you so much for being here. And I would welcome you all to turn on your cameras unless it's just not a good time. But it's always so wonderful to see your faces. Oh, that's great. That's so great. Wonderful. Oh, it's so good to see you. Oh, there's a little baby. Well, good. Well, we're going to talk about circle time. And I have to say that circle time is personally my favorite part of the kindergarten day, and I'm sure that many teachers feel the same way. But it is the very best time of the day, in my opinion. And circle time typically happens at the beginning of the day in the kindergarten, and it lasts maybe 15 to 25, 30 minutes, depending on the time of year. And there is a great deal of learning that happens during circle time. It's a time for purposeful movement. It's a time for social interaction, for reverence. It's a time to learn games and practice taking turns and accepting disappointment when you're not chosen to be the it in the game. It's also a time to practice listening. It's a time to practice poetry and song and verse. It's a time to practice patience and self-discipline. And it's a time for laughter and silliness and joy. And it's also a time to honor the seasons and what is happening out in nature. One of my favorite comments a parent made to me last year who was new to the kindergarten said to me at a parent evening, "I never knew there was a king winter or a lady spring or a brother wind or a sister rain. I learned all of this through circle." And it's so true. We celebrate the festival life during our circle times and the curriculum. So for example, last month in the Cherry Blossom Kindergarten, we celebrated King Winter. And this is the nature table that is in my virtual classroom right now. And last month it was covered in white and blue, and King Winter was standing tall and proud. And there were many signs of winter on the nature table. And we also had an element of a story that was being shared in the kindergarten. So we were hearing the story of the Bremen Town musicians from the curriculum. And so the Bremen Town musicians and King Winter were woven into the circle. So oftentimes the circle is part of the curriculum and part of the festival life and part of what's happening out in nature. So again, it's really a wonderful time, and there is so much learning that happens during circle time. And now we are focused on the theme of love and friendship. And so we're going to do a circle tonight focused on that theme. So the focus this past couple of weeks has been on love and friendship. And we've been coming to circle wearing crowns that the kids have all made, and they're all very different. Some come and there's feathers on them and glitter and all kinds of things. And many of our crafts have been around the theme of love and friendship. Today we made little candle votives with a stained glass in them. And we've been making Valentines and things like that. So often, again, the circle revolves around what's happening in the festival life of the school. And lastly, circle time is a time to really live in our imagination and to be creative. And Rudolf Steiner, who is the founder of Waldorf education, said to the teachers, receive the children in reverence, educate them in love, let them go forth in freedom. And in early childhood, our goal is to surround the children as much as possible with the golden words that we live by in the kindergarten. And those golden words are truth, beauty, and goodness. So maybe you could think about those things as we do our circle together and as we learn more from my colleagues after we have experienced a circle together. So let's get started. So again, we're going to do a circle together. And then at the end of that time, we'll have some thoughts shared by Mrs. Martinez and Miss Lynn. And then we'll have time for question and answer. And before we get started with our circle, I just want to say to just embrace your inner child, stand up with me, and know that no one is watching you. No one cares. And that's the wonderful thing about kindergarten is the children, I mean, they think I sing like a little bird. You know, it doesn't matter. We're just having fun together. And so let's just have some fun together. So as I would say in the kindergarten, we would start this way. And we would push our chairs aside. So I welcome you to do that. Just push your chair aside and stand up with me. And I won't wear my crown, but just know that if we were in kindergarten, we would all be wearing crowns because we would be the king or the queen of hearts at this moment. So that's what we're doing. So stand tall, and we're just going to imagine that we're in the kindergarten now. All right, are we ready? Is there anything I need to know before we get started, my dear colleagues, or are we ready? Are we good? Okay, all right. So here we go. We're in kindergarten. Cherry blossom gathering, cherry blossom gathering. So all the children would be coming to circle. And now we would get started. Good morning, dear earth. Good morning, dear sun. Good morning, dear trees. And the flowers, everyone. Good morning, dear beasts. And the birds in the trees. Good morning to you, and good morning to me. Down is the earth. Now touch your toes. You might not be able to see me touching my toes, but touch your toes. Up is the sky. There are my friends, and here am I. Down is the earth. Up is the sky. There are my friends, and here am I. You know, I can't do this circle without the crown. I have to put the crown. I've been wearing it for 3 weeks. It just seems so odd to do this circle without the crown. So I'm going to put the crown on, and I've been wearing this dress for 3 weeks too. So it just doesn't make any sense. All right. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. The king and queen of hearts are walking through the town to tell all the children what they have found. The king and queen of hearts are walking through the town to tell all the children what they have found. Dear friends all, both big and small, I hold a golden heart, shining clear and true. It is the love I have for you. Dear friends all, both big and small, I hold a golden heart, shining clear and true. It is the love I have for you. And we're going to make a big heart now. Bring your elbows together. Oh, beautiful. I see you all doing that so beautifully. And now we're making a big heart. Wonderful. And then let's see a medium heart. Can you make a medium heart? Beautiful. Oh my goodness, so much love. And how about a small heart? Lovely. Let's try that big heart again. Bring those elbows together. Beautiful. Beautiful. One of the children today showed me this. She made a big heart like this. Wonderful. Let's see that medium heart. And then that small heart. Lovely. Can you do that small heart with just your pointers? Wonderful. How about tall man? Can you make a heart with just your tall man fingers? Beautiful. How about your pinkies? Wonderful. Oh, lovely. All right, well, we're going to play a little game, and it's called a tisket, a tasket. Now, if we were together in the yard, we would all be sitting in a circle, much like the game of Duck, Duck, Goose, where all of you would be sitting in a circle. And then I would choose a child, and I would give this child a heart-shaped beanbag. And we would have sewn those, actually, in the class. So we do teach the children how to sew in kindergarten. So the children would have sewn a heart-shaped beanbag, and I would choose a child and I would give them the beanbag, and they would skip around the circle. And when we got to a certain point of the song that says, I dropped it, they would drop the beanbag behind a child, and that child would stand up, pick it up, and chase them around the circle, much like Duck, Duck, Goose. And you're going to get instructions at the end of the night for all of these things that we've done tonight. But because we've been teaching virtually, we've been doing it a little bit differently. So we have still been using a beanbag. And instead of sitting in a circle, we all go skipping around our space. I've been opening my door and we've been skipping around the house. And then we've been coming back to the screen and playing a little game. So we're going to do that together. I've got this lovely little jar here. So let's get skipping. Are you ready? Okay. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it. I dropped it. On the way I dropped it. An old friend picked it up and put it in her pocket. And then we all come back to the screen. Oh, beautiful. You're such good listeners. Let's put our beanbags on our head. Thank you so much. And then once we've come back to the screen and we're breathing heavily, which is so lovely to see, I've been choosing a heart out of this jar. And every student's name is on a heart. And I've been giving them clues, and they've had to figure out whose name is on the heart. And we've been having so much fun with this. So here we go. This person is on the screen now. And she is the enrollment coordinator at Golden Valley Charter Schools. Oh, I see a quiet candle. Now you must shine a quiet candle if you want to guess who it is. I will only call on students who have a quiet candle. She has 2 children that go to Golden Valley, and her last name is a synonym of giggle. Oh, Miss Martinez, who do you think it is?
Is it Miss Laughter?
You're right. It is. It is.
We do have fun.
We do have fun. So that is what we've been doing with this game, because we've been teaching virtually. So we've been getting creative, and we would play that game 2 or 3 times. So 2 or 3 children would have the opportunity to have their clues given, and everyone would have an opportunity eventually, but it would take a few weeks, and that's so good for them. That's so good for them. So I'm going to put the jar back, but let's just sing the song together. Let's just sing the song together so you hear it again, even though you're going to get an audio. I'm going to take the beanbag off my head. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it. I dropped it, I dropped it. On the way I dropped it. An old friend picked it up and put it in his pocket. So that's a tisket, a tasket. And then we are going to move on to a little clapping game. So you may remember doing clapping games when you were a child. You would maybe clap on your lap and then clap with a partner, or clap to yourself and then clap with a partner. And sometimes you would get fancy and go crisscross. So this is an excellent thing to do with young children. All right, so we're going to try it. First, we're going to clap on our lap, and then we're going to clap to ourselves. Oh, we forgot to dance. We forgot to do our dance. I'm so sorry. We're going to do our dance first. I'm sorry. So if you have a partner with you, ask them to be your dance partner. Now, I've been dancing with my Snow Princess lately. So, Snow Princess, will you dance with me tonight? I know, we've done 2 circles already today. You must be exhausted. So I'm dancing with my Snow Princess. You might have another person there that you could dance with. Oh, good. Miss Keiko is going to get her partner. I love this. All right, here we go. Winter soon will fade away. Bright spring light will fill the day. Oh, dance with me, dear Valentine, round and round, dear friend of mine. To the center, everyone, hold your hands up to the sun. Oh, dance with me, dear Valentine, round and round, dear friend of mine. Now this can get a little tricky, but you're holding hands. Under bare branches we go. Look and see the flowers grow. Oh, dance with me, dear Valentine, round and round, dear friend of mine. From the top. Winter soon will fade away. Bright spring light will fill the day. Oh, dance with me, dear Valentine, round and round, dear friend of mine. To the center, everyone, hold your hands up to the sun. Oh, dance with me, dear Valentine, round and round, dear friend of mine. Under bare branches we go. Look and see the flowers grow. Oh, dance with me, dear Valentine, round and round, dear friend of mine. Thank you. You may bow to your partner and say thank you. Thank you so much for dancing with me yet again today. All right, and now we will go to our clapping game. I see Mrs. Martinez has her lovely dancing partner today. So here we go. We're going to clap here and then clap here. Now, if you have a partner, you could clap here and clap with your partner. That's what we would do if we were together in person. So we would clap here and then clap with our partner. So you could do either. If you have a buddy with you, you can go ahead and clap with them. All right. Love is something when you give it away. Give it away. Give it away. Love is something when you give it away. You'll end up having more. Now, if you have a dance partner, you can take them by the arm. I'll do it with my snow princess. It's just like a magic penny. Hold it tight and you won't have any. Spend it, lend it, you'll have so many. Now, if it's safe for you and you're somewhere where you can do a somersault or roll all over the floor, go for it. It'll roll all over the floor. It'll roll all over the floor. All right, now we're going to add on. We're going to do 2 laps and then 2 claps. Okay? Love is something when you give it away. Give it away. Give it away. Love is something when you give it away. You'll end up having more. It's just like a magic penny. Hold it tight and you won't have any. Spend it, lend it, you'll have so many. All right, who's brave enough to do the somersault? It'll roll all over the floor. It'll roll all over the floor. Wonderful. And then you can keep adding on. This week we added on 1, 2, and 3. So we've been adding on to our clapping game and getting even fancier. But I want to make sure we have time for questions and answers and more comments. So, like my mother used to say, find the penny, pick it up, and all day long you'll have good luck. And then we'll close with our closing verse. We always close with the same verse. We always start with the same opening song and verse, but the middle changes. So here we go. Open wide the door to morning. Take love as you depart. Walk gently on the earth with kindness in your heart. Good morning, lovely parents and friends. I would say, good morning, Cherry Blossom Kindergarten. And they would say, good morning, Mrs. Bosque. And then we would move on with our day. Whew. Wow, thank you. I saw many of you taking part in Circle. I appreciate you just embracing that moment. I know it can feel awkward at first, but it's a lot of fun. So I wondered if Miss Martinez or Miss Lynn would like to add on to what was said about circle time, or even repeat it, because it's always helpful for people to hear things over and over, isn't it? Let's see, I don't know, Mrs. Laughter, do you need to turn on their microphones? Or can they do it?
I thought Ashley did it when she called on me, but if you would like
I did it.
There we go.
I did it.
Thank you.
Okay. I will go on a different route about circle, because I also love circle and for many of the same reasons, but also for a lot of foundational reasons. And I think sometimes when we look at Waldorf kindergarten, it's very beautiful and whimsical. And I've heard people say, like, well, you don't really teach anything in kindergarten. And that just gets me going, because the children definitely don't feel as if they're learning in the way that you would with flashcards, or if you were sitting down trying to read at 5 years old. It's definitely a fun and joyful and exciting experience that they're drawn into naturally. But the vocabulary that we're using is incredibly foundational for reading and writing. The memorization of the circle as we go on and add more pieces to it, and we get up to, like Miss Bosque said, up to 30 minutes of circle. And the children often could lead it on their own because they've been able to remember the words and the movements that go along with it. All of these pieces are incredibly important when they get into the grades. So even though it's something fun and silly and they're doing it in their free time at home and singing songs in the shower and it's just living within them so wonderfully, it really is academically important that they're able to have this experience. It's not just something fun. So I wanted to just throw that piece in as a person who's taught upper grades and children with learning disabilities and reading comprehension issues. This to me is very important work that just happens to be really fun and beautiful also.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Well, thank you both. It's just so amazing. And I just felt so much joy doing that with you. It's so, to hear the same songs and see different movements. One piece that we look at too, it really with intention, every movement in the circle is there to meet the needs of that group. Or maybe there's one child who might need something and we'll bring in certain movements to meet those needs of a child or children in that group. Every piece, there's like a checklist I follow of pieces and elements that go into the movements that are chosen. The brain research too, just that we need to have the joy and the love of learning to be able to access the frontal lobe of our brain. If there's any fear or anxiety or abstract kind of things that are happening for the child's brain, they go into more of a fight or flight mode. And so we do the joy, the love, the laughter is really a big part of the kindergarten. You can see the stamina. Some of us are probably out of breath if you do the whole circle fully, and we have children coming to school. Sometimes they come sleepy. So we really work with the families to make sure there's 10 to 14 hours of sleep and just making sure that the basic needs are really being met to be able to have the stamina to go through and build this imagination. Waldorf education is very auditory, and the children need to be able to see the pictures. They need to see the king and the queen, and they go there. And it's a whole different way that their brain works. So coming to Waldorf education for me 20 some odd years ago when my son was in kindergarten, I thought it might be a strange, why doesn't everybody teach this way if it's so wonderful? And it just, we were cautious about it. And we did so much research. And I recommend if any of you are parents looking into Waldorf education, check into it. And because it's a lifestyle community building. Some of us come here as parents for ourselves too, in our own education and community building. It's really important for them to be able to make these pictures and work with that. And I think I'll stop there because I know we want some time for questions or answers. I could go on, but this movement is so many things happen with all this time to move and play.
Yes. Yeah. I'm so glad both of you brought different points, and Miss Lynn, I'm so glad you brought up the point of just allowing them or giving them the opportunity to really create those pictures in their minds. And that's one of the reasons why we have a media policy at our school, and we really ask that you protect your children from screen time and from media, and we'll help you through that. We know that that's a really difficult thing to ask, but it's for a very short time, and it's for a very good reason. And it's so that they can really live in their imagination, so that they can really have the opportunity to build that capacity to create those pictures in their mind, because that's the beginnings of literacy. Like what Mrs. Martinez was saying, we teach so much in the kindergarten, but it looks different. But we really want them to be able to create those pictures in their minds of King Winter and the hearts. And it's so wonderful to see the children's imagination just blossom as the year progresses.